Hello and welcome to Journey Across History Official. Today we delve deep into one of the most defining and divisive periods of American history, the Civil War. Spanning from 1861 to 1865, this conflict tested the ideals of freedom and unity, reshaping the nation's identity. Join us as we explore the intricate causes, fierce battles, and the indelible aftermath of this historic struggle. The path to the American Civil War was paved over decades, rooted in deep-seated conflicts and differences that divided the nation. Central to these divisions were not only economic disparities, but also contrasting views on morality, power, and the very essence of human rights. The North, with its rapidly industrializing economy, pushed against the expansion of slavery, advocating for a society based on free labor and equal opportunities. This stance was not purely altruistic. The economic models of the North and South were fundamentally incompatible, with Northern industrial interests often at odds with the agricultural system that slavery supported. In contrast, the Southern economy was deeply entwined with the institution of slavery. The South's agrarian lifestyle and economy were built on the backs of enslaved African Americans, with cotton as the cornerstone. Slavery was not merely an economic arrangement, but a deeply ingrained social system that shaped the fabric of Southern society, making its defense a matter of identity and honor for many Southerners. The contentious issue of states' rights added another layer of complexity to these tensions. Southerners staunchly believed in the sovereignty of individual states, arguing that each state should have the authority to determine its own laws and policies, including the right to allow or prohibit slavery. The federal government's attempts to regulate or restrict slavery were perceived as direct assaults on Southern autonomy and an overreach of power. The 1860 election of Abraham Lincoln, a member of the anti-slavery Republican Party, was the catalyst that ignited the smoldering tensions. His victory was seen by many in the South as an existential threat to the institution of slavery and the very foundation of their way of life. Lincoln's election represented not just a political shift, but a fundamental challenge to the Southern worldview, leading to the secession of 11 Southern states and the formation of the Confederate States of America. This act of secession was a bold declaration of a different vision for America's future, one that stood in stark contrast to the ideals of the North. It set the stage for a violent conflict that would determine not only the fate of slavery, but also the very nature of the American Union. The ensuing war would be fought on battlefields and in the hearts and minds of the American people, testing the nation's resolve and its commitment to the principles of liberty and equality. The Civil War's opening salvo at Fort Sumter in April 1861 signaled the beginning of a conflict that would consume the nation. However, it was the Battle of Gettysburg in July 1863 that truly exemplified the war's scale and significance. This three-day clash in Pennsylvania resulted in staggering casualties on both sides, marking a turning point in the war. The Union victory at Gettysburg not only repelled the Confederate invasion of the North, but also dealt a severe blow to Southern morale and momentum. Equally pivotal was the Siege of Vicksburg, which concluded just a day after Gettysburg. The Union's triumph here split the Confederacy, securing control over the vital Mississippi River and isolating the Southern states. The strategic acumen demonstrated by Union General Ulysses S. Grant during this campaign showcased his military prowess and set the stage for his rise to prominence. Other notable engagements, such as the Battle of Antietam, the Battle of Shiloh, and the Battle of Chancellorsville, underscored the brutality and bravery displayed by both Union and Confederate forces. The American Civil War was shaped by the actions and decisions of remarkable individuals who left an indelible mark on history. President Abraham Lincoln's leadership was defined by his unwavering commitment to preserving the Union and his evolving stance on slavery. His issuance of the Emancipation Proclamation in 1863 transformed the war's purpose, elevating it from a struggle to maintain the Union to a crusade for human freedom. Lincoln's strategic vision and moral courage in the face of adversity made him an iconic figure in American history. On the Confederate side, Jefferson Davis, as the President of the Confederate States, faced the daunting task of leading a fledgling nation through the crucible of war. His leadership was tested by the challenges of mobilizing resources, maintaining unity among the southern states, and navigating the complex political landscape of the Confederacy. General Robert E. Lee, the commander of the Confederate Army of Northern Virginia, emerged as a central figure in the Southern war effort. His tactical brilliance and leadership abilities earned him the admiration of his troops and the respect of his adversaries, even as he fought for a cause that ultimately faltered. The Civil War also brought forth a diverse array of leaders whose contributions shaped the conflict and its aftermath. Ulysses S. Grant, who rose from obscurity to become the Union's most successful general, demonstrated tenacity and strategic acumen that proved instrumental in securing victory. Frederick Douglass, the renowned abolitionist and orator, tirelessly advocated for the rights of African Americans and played a crucial role in recruiting black soldiers for the Union cause. Clara Barton, the founder of the American Red Cross, brought compassion and aid to countless wounded soldiers on both sides of the conflict. These leaders, along with countless others, left an indelible mark on the Civil War and the nation's history. Their actions, decisions, and sacrifices shaped the course of the conflict and laid the foundation for the challenges and opportunities of the post-war era. The Emancipation Proclamation, issued by President Abraham Lincoln on January 1, 1863, stands as a defining moment in American history. This momentous decree declared that all enslaved individuals in the rebellious states were forever free, transforming the Civil War from a struggle to preserve the Union into a battle for human liberation. Although the proclamation did not immediately free all enslaved people, as it applied only to the Confederate states in active rebellion, it had far-reaching consequences. The proclamation opened the door for the enlistment of African American men in the Union Army and Navy, leading to the formation of the United States Colored Troops, USCT. By war's end, over 200,000 black soldiers had served in the Union ranks, their bravery and sacrifice proving crucial to the Union's ultimate victory. Their participation challenged the very institution of slavery, undermining the labor force that sustained the Confederate economy and society. Moreover, the Emancipation Proclamation fundamentally altered international perceptions of the Civil War. By reframing the conflict as a fight against the moral evil of slavery, Lincoln effectively discouraged European powers, particularly Britain and France, from intervening on behalf of the Confederacy. This strategic maneuver elevated the Union cause to a higher morale plane, transforming the war into a struggle for human freedom and paving the way for the eventual abolition of slavery throughout the United States. The guns fell silent in 1865, but the echoes of the Civil War continued to reverberate through the nation. The era of Reconstruction that followed sought to rebuild a shattered country and grapple with the profound challenges of integrating millions of formerly enslaved individuals into American society. Despite the formal abolition of slavery, the path to true equality and justice was strewn with obstacles and resistance. The post-war years witnessed intense political struggles as African Americans fought for their rights and dignity in the face of fierce opposition from the remnants of the Confederate power structure. The Reconstruction amendments to the Constitution, the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendments, aimed to enshrine the hard-won freedoms of the war era. The 13th Amendment permanently abolished slavery, while the 14th Amendment granted citizenship and equal protection under the law to all persons born in the United States, including former slaves. The 15th Amendment sought to protect the voting rights of African American men, a critical step towards political empowerment. However, the promise of Reconstruction was met with bitter resistance and the rise of white supremacist organizations such as the Ku Klux Klan, which sought to terrorize and disenfranchise African Americans. The struggle for civil rights and racial equality would continue for generations, from the Jim Crow era to the civil rights movement of the 1960s and beyond. The Civil War also left deep scars on the American landscape and psyche. The staggering loss of life, with over 600,000 soldiers perishing in the conflict, left a profound sense of grief and trauma that resonated through families and communities. The physical destruction wrought by the war, particularly in the South, required years of rebuilding and recovery. The economic and social upheaval of the war years transformed the nation, accelerating industrialization in the North and forcing a painful restructuring of the Southern economy and society. Yet, amidst the pain and turmoil, the Civil War also sowed the seeds of a new American identity. It reaffirmed the indivisibility of the Union and the supremacy of the federal government, forever altering the balance of power between the states and the nation. It set in motion a long and ongoing process of grappling with the legacies of slavery and racism, challenging Americans to live up to the highest ideals of their founding documents. The war tested the resilience and resolve of the American people, forging a renewed sense of national purpose and unity in the face of adversity. Thank you for joining us on this exploration of the American Civil War. If you found this journey through history enlightening, be sure to subscribe to Journey Across History Official for more captivating stories from the past. Share your thoughts on this transformative period and suggest other historical topics you'd like us to cover in the comments below. Until next time, keep learning, questioning, and seeking to understand the complex tapestry of our shared history.